There's a difference between silence and hearing nothing. You could hear nothing. And then the roof got torn off where we were.
Wow.
Yeah, we were staying at the hurricane shelter across from Independence Park. And when we got there was already like electricity in the air. Like, you know, we had started seeing what had happened to the people in Abaco. And we started.
So this before?
Before the storm actually got there, yeah.
Okay.
The reports started coming in from people who were, and the people in Abaco. We even started seeing footage of people in Abaco and what had happened to them. We started hearing about persons who were dead or missing and things like that. So it was already a tense situation. And I'll never forget talk about calm before the storm.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget how eerily quiet Freeport was before the storm got that far. It's like, at least when storms come in, you get the thunder and the rain and everything come in. Nothing. And it was to the point where people started questioning whether or not this storm is actually coming. Then you started getting the notices from the utility companies. You're shutting down electricity. You're shutting down the water, this and that. Around 7 p.m., they shut down the water. So that just added to the tense situation. Then the storm came, and then you started thinking, okay, we've been through hurricanes before. Standard procedure, standard MO. Then at one point, it felt like all the air had been sucked out of the room we were in. And it was like literally difficult to breathe. And you could hear nothing. There's a difference between silence and hearing nothing. You could hear nothing. And then the roof got torn off where we were.
Wow.
And I'm looking at this. I'm watching a tornado right over my head rip the roof off of us. And then a part of the ceiling fell and landed on a little boy.
He survived?
He survived, but we didn't think so.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like watching all of that debris land on him. We in a church now.
Yeah.
So we watch like, you know, beams and sheetrock and concrete. When I say that landed this close to that boy's head, I'm being very serious. We thought the mother was hysterical, and I'm trying to hold her back from getting herself injured. And my friend who I was with, they're helping to dig the boy out from the rubble. And we thought he was dead. But when he reached out to grab my friend's hand, we pulled him out and we had to run downstairs into the other part of the church. And I'd been through traumatic experiences before, but I've never experienced anything like that. And that, along with other near-death experiences of that day, listen to what I'm saying, that day, you know, it took a toll on my mind. And
did you ever go like to counseling or therapy?
No. And I regret doing that because, unfortunately, again, you know, I come from a school of thought where going to talk to a therapist meant you was crazy. I ain't crazy. I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
But I should have done that. And I see the error in doing that. A part of the show's DNA is therapy. There was a lot of I had to get out, you know, and I figured if I can't talk to anyone, I'll talk to the microphone, and then whatever comes out, you know.
I think a lot of podcasters feel like that. I mean, for me, a lot of time, one of the reasons I do it is because it's therapy. Is because, especially with mother sick, it's like whatever I going through, or when I put an episode, I just went through something or saw something, I thought about it, and like, let me talk about it.
Yeah.
You know,
That's actually how I found my mother sick, you know.
Oh, okay.
Because I was saying to myself, like, I can't be the only boy on planet Earth that thinks and feels like this. And then I came across y'all, I was like, yeah, this is it. Yeah, nigga, okay. Subscribe to this. Subscribe to that. Okay. So, yeah, you know.
Yeah. Because I often wonder, and I told you this on your show, I was like, when I moved back home, I was like, bro, I wouldn't mind like living and moving in Freeport if things up because I tired of Nassau. Like, crime, the dirty, this and that and that. I just like to see life, and I think we would all be better if we had what Freeport was and what Abaco was becoming.
Yes.
If we had those two dynamics added to Nassau, we living in a better Bahamas.
Yes.
But you know, unfortunately, in one swoop, both of those two is gone. Now we in the situation we in.
I don't think people quite realize the battering this country is taken just off of hurricanes alone.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Because if you think about it, we could go back as far as 92. That was Andrew.
Yeah.
And if you go from Andrew to Dorian, there's basically been a major hurricane in the Bahamas every 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So even if this last recent stretch, 2016 was Matthew. That was for the northern Bahamas. 2017 was Joaquin. That was for the southern Bahamas.
Mm-hmm. And Irma.
Yeah.
And you had Irma.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Then you had then you had Dorian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's 4 major hurricanes in 5-6 years.
Span 5-6 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, that has to have had a mental effect on us as a nation.
It has.
How long are we going to keep running from that, though?
I think it raises a question, and is this a question always in my mind? Are we really supposed to be inhabiting these islands?
That's a damn good question.
Yeah, because it's like, okay, and I always wonder, I say, why Freeport always getting hit by these hurricanes? But then when you look at the geographic location of Freeport, it's super flat.
Yeah.
And with the rise in tides, you always going to get hit. So then people be like, well, why people ain't investing in the Grand Bahama? Because they already see, bro, it don't make sense if this going to get hit all the time. So I'm like, bro, we might as well start moving people off that island and start spreading them throughout the rest of the
I tell persons too, like, it's one thing to see it on the news, is another thing to see it in person.
Yeah.
Right.
Dorian sat off Grand Bahama and didn't move for like 60 hours, 58, 60 hours.
Yeah.
And all it did was churn water and send water inland. There were businesses on Queens Highway that was up to the roof in water. And then the water just sat there.
Yeah.
The company that I used to work for, they had trailers on the side of the building. The water picked up those trailers and took them down the street. Like, we were shocked where we actually found them. You know, so I'm so sorry that I don't have the photo anymore to show persons, but the school, one of the schools, again, the name escapes me. It's a 2-story building. The water was up to the 2nd story in the classroom.
Yep.
So, see, things like that has an effect. I used to live in that area. The houses were covered. Some of those people were home when that water came in.
Yeah.
What did they do? Run up in the manhole?
I mean, I think a lot of people had to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and then just the overall trauma of, let's imagine if you've been living in Grand Bahama since 2000, you done experienced that at least 5-6 times already.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like,
Exactly. And the saddest part about it is how quickly people forget. I'm not entirely sure it's a coping mechanism as well.
No, it is a government because Dorian happened in September. Everybody by Christmas, everybody was like, yeah, deck the halls with all the joy. La, 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 la,
But I said it's sad because prior to Dorian hitting, and I'm sorry if Grand Bahamians, if y'all get mad because I say it like this, but prior to Dorian hitting, let's just say Freeport isn't the friendliest city. It's not really the most neighborly. You know, mm-hmm. When Dorian hit, you had no choice but to be your brother's keeper. Mm. Like that was a way to survive. You see what I'm saying? And then, like you said, by the time Christmas rolled around, right back to
the same
old. You know. Keep going. So, but it was like that with Matthew, and it was like that with our other hurricanes. So, like, when do we start to understand? Hey, maybe we need to re-look at how we deal with one another.
I mean, I think for the most part, and Bahamians normally have this reputation of being people of the bourgeoisie.
Y'all need to stop that.
But it's like, that's just overall reputation. Not even just an island, but that's country reputation with other Caribbean countries. Like, y'all the bougie niggas.
Yeah, that's true.
Or whatever. So it's like, so with that is this individual mind state, or like, you being raised up like, oh, I want these type of people in my house.
Yeah.
Or you only hang out with these type of persons, or blah, 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 blah. So you never think you don't have a communal mindset. Mm. So that's why growing older, a lot of people have a tough time with building community. Mm. But what I've seen, that's why I say in the whole generational thing, looking back to the whole collaboration thing, when I think it's easier, well, for me personally and for us creatively to collaborate now because we put the work in solo. And we did it by ourselves first.
Yes.
Because I was trying to get people, before I even started the original People Network, I was trying to help people make a network and do this and make a show and blah. But all this and all that. So when I started doing it on my own, obviously at first people didn't believe and this and that. Even people I started to, that's how the show with and really was fully sold in. But when I started doing it and I keep on, 6 months past a year, but this consistent. Now it's like, okay, jump on the train. Boom, 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 boom.
You know what? That's the Bahamian word of the day. Liking man. let's talk about liking man. I'm sure y'all talked about liking man before. Let's talk about.
Actually, that was the first episode of 2021.